framework as opposed to our own?
Well, I think number one, because being that he is the creator of the universe, you guys obviously you guys are going to use obscure.
I don't know how else to explain, Joel, that like we don't care that he created. Like if I had some magic superpower to where I could create a little human, right? I had some power. I could just make a little actual small person, right? And then I smashed it. Does that mean that what I did was, in your opinion, a good action by killing the small human just because I created it?
Well, I'm saying that any reason I give you guys, you would just say the same thing. I don't care because that's just you
That
guys.
wasn't a yes or
There's
no
no.
question.
I can't give
It was
you
a yes
guys.
or no question. I just needed a yes or no. If I was able to create a small human and then I killed it, in your opinion, is that a good action or a bad action? And then I killed it.
Because he is God and he is the moral arbitrator of the universe. Even though it is subjective, we are under his rule in this universe. If there was a different universe and somebody else was a different moral arbitrator, then it would be their rule and what they say.
Wait. Just to be clear, you're saying if Satan finally was like, fuck this, I'm out of here. I don't want nothing to do with this universe. And he goes and creates another universe and he's the master of that universe and he just wants to like rip women open, sexually assault them, and like, I don't know, murder babies. Then we would say that all those things are morally good because Satan's the king of that universe?
If he's the moral arbitrator of that universe, there's a difference. I can be the king of a country, but that doesn't mean because I kill the people in my country, it's
so it
okay.
sounds then that like what Calvin said about 10 minutes ago was right. Your moral system is might makes right.
In this universe, under God's arbitrary moral standard that we all live under, that we can't get around. The thing is, you guys don't have any kind of moral standard.
Are you going to recognize that we've, like Calvin pegged you 10 minutes ago, that your moral framework is just that might makes right?
Also, you misrepresented us again by saying that we don't have a moral standard. When we've already explained that we do have a moral standard, it's just subjective. So, like, that's just dishonest to continue to say.
Well, I guess it's just an opinion. So you guys could.
But so is yours.
You guys could. No, not necessarily, because I have an actual framework under which.
Oh no, you don't.
You guys pull out obscure verses in the Old Testament.
Well, your framework is God said it.
Yeah, well, it's God's wrath, which is totally moral.
So wrath is moral.
Wrath is moral. Yeah, if somebody tries to come in and kill my family and I kill that person,
well,
for you guys it doesn't matter because you guys
just like it said immoral.
Or is it immoral or whatever?
So personally,
you know what I mean? Like,
I don't think harming another human being in any way is ever moral unless you have no other option. Like if you have to harm somebody to save your own life, or you have to harm somebody to save the life of others, then you're doing what you have to do. But it should only be like last resort. I would never do it just because I don't like what you did. Now I'm gonna murder you, or like. I don't like what you did, so I'm going to kill your babies, which is what God does. God literally murders babies because he doesn't like what their parents are doing.
Funny enough, my shirt today actually says, "Remember when God killed all the babies."
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess, and I'll be honest with you guys. You guys are both really, like, you know, what you guys are saying, it is making me think. You know what I mean? And I appreciate you guys for that. Because you guys have been both very respectful, and, you know, some people can get kind of nasty when we have conversations like this. So yeah, I do appreciate you guys for being very respectful and honestly giving me you guys a good viewpoint, because you guys are making me think. It's like, okay, you're right. There is in a way, when you think about it, of God, it is his moral standard, so it is subjective to God. I get that. I guess my point really is this: it's the fact that complete. I personally think God, it's almost undisputable that there is a creator.
Well, let's go there.
With that, with that, we kind of have to. We want
to do a cut here with the moral argument and move on to whether or not like your God is real, or
Yeah, I mean, I guess, are we going to do the Christian God or just a creator in general? Just like
I mean,
versus
I,
atheist?
I think it's up to you. You've been honest with us with your viewpoint up to here that I'm not going to force you to do an argument for Christianity. I would say this though, that a lot of the people watching would be more interested if your argument ended with the Christian God. It's more exciting.
Okay, let's do that. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. And there's more. We have a whole book to go off of and all that. So I get it. Okay. So I mean, look, my point would be this: with the Christian God, specifically God in general. Do you guys are you guys atheist or agnostic?
Oh. Yeah, I'd say we are on the same page. We're agnostic atheists, meaning we don't have knowledge of God. That's what it means to be agnostic. You're without knowledge. And then, but we're also atheists. Now, if it happens that some great argument came about that convinced me that there was a God, I wouldn't be Christian, but I would believe in God. It just happens to be that I definitely don't believe in the Christian God for sure.
Okay, makes sense.
I second that.
So, okay, that makes more sense, and I think that's more of a logical viewpoint than people who just don't think there's ever a chance of there being a God. Okay, so for the Christian argument that I'll make is, number one, obviously, Jesus Christ.
Final lap.
The amount of evidence that, number one, not only that he lived, but that he was crucified and rose from the dead, I think solidifies, I think there's enough proof and enough documents to prove that what Jesus did, said, and rising from the dead is more of a historical fact than 99% of history.
This is a bad time
that we
I'm
agree.
admitting this.
Yeah, can you be specific? Calvin here doesn't even believe that Jesus existed, so.
Oh, he's purely a storybook character, man.
Okay, so Calvin, I like to argue. What about you, Justin? You don't believe Jesus existed?
I think it's likely that a person similar to Jesus existed, but that character absolutely didn't exist. But
But
to
I
be
mean, to be fair, like for the sake of like this argument, I know that like when I bring up the mythicism thing, it goes down like this whole rabbit hole of like now everyone wants to talk about mythicism. Like we can kind of hash it out for a minute, but like I don't want to stick on that topic for the sake
we
of
don't
like
have
our
to.
conversation. I can grant that he was a real person and
I
stuff
can
like
just say
that.
I can just say my point of why I think he was real, and then you can say
Sure.
yours, and then we don't have to like rebuttal. So if that's okay.
Sure. I mean, what really it comes down for me is lack of evidence. I don't believe he existed because I don't think there's enough evidence to believe he existed. That's bottom line.
Oof, that's tough though, man, because then you have to go with Caesar. Augustus doesn't exist. Well, okay, so then there are probably, I think, 12 more documents that Jesus of Nazareth existed than Alexander the Great. So you would have to say Alexander the Great didn't exist.
Nah. Because it's not just about historical documentation.
I think 99% of atheists would conclude that Jesus did exist, though. It's kind of a hard...
99% of statistics are pulled out of your ass.
Okay, so then did Alexander the Great exist, in your opinion?
Maybe. I haven't really looked into it.
So
I don't really care that much.
To be fair, I think we've got different types of evidence for Alexander. So from contemporary with the time period he lived in, we've got statues, carvings, coins, all with his face and name on it, and the countries that he conquered wrote about them getting their asses kicked by him.
Well, Jesus also wasn't a general of an army, so...
Well, that's why the evidence is different.
The evidence is different. I mean,
anyways, I don't want to get stuck in the mythicism thing because I think it's
so we can just go to the. I agree.
Jesus existed, right? Jesus is a real person. So now what makes you think
that? So my thing is this. 100%. Okay, so obviously we can only go based off of the historical documents and facts that we have from the past. And there's no video recording, obviously, right? And so we have to grant that he existed. Okay. Now let me ask you guys a question. When there is an Islamist extremist, right, and I'm not just saying it's just Islam, but we're just using an example. If there's an Islamic extremist who does a terrorist act, or any type of extremist of any religion or any country does a terrorist act, do you guys believe that they believe what they're doing is right, or do you guys believe that what they believe is true to them.
Okay, so like for example, if we're looking at like the World Trade Center, you know, those people flying the planes into the World Trade Center,
Correct.
they did that because they thought their religion was true and that they're going to get, you know, whatever reward they get when they go to heaven. They believed in Islam, et cetera, right? Cool. But that doesn't mean that it's true. Like if I take my car and I drive into the side of a building in the name of Bigfoot, does that mean that Bigfoot exists, or just that I believe?
100%. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I'm just saying that it would be very logical to believe that they believed what they were doing was right and true. Not saying that it was true.
I don't know if I would even necessarily agree that they think what they were doing was right. I think they're just more so doing it because that's what they believed they had to do.
I think it's mixed, and I'll give you a reason why. I don't want to muddy the waters or bog down the conversation, but I'll tell you why I think it's mixed. I used to be married to someone who her parents immigrated from Egypt. They immigrated from Egypt to Canada. They were mostly a mix of Plymouth Brethren and Coptic Christians, and they moved because their neighbors kept trying to unalive them. Their Muslim neighbors did. Now, it turns out they're actually friends with their Muslim neighbors. They turned out to probably be okay people, but the ultimatum that happened was that the religious leaders above them said, either you know, unalive your Christian neighbors or we unalive you. So there's a certain number of people inside the religion that are like coerced into performing acts of religious violence. It's not always true that the ones that are doing it actually believe what they're doing is right. Sometimes it's just self-preservation.
Okay. So, okay, that makes sense. So I guess I was going to mirror this back to the disciples.
Right.
Which it wouldn't be the case with the case that you just made, Justin, because the disciples didn't have anybody saying, hey, we're going to kill you unless you spread this message. But I guess my point is this: the disciples are the only group of people in human history to claim not only that they saw something, but also gain nothing from it.
I think that's just a bullshit lie.
Okay, so so it's really just hearsay if you just say it's a lie.
Wait, no, because they were going to gain. Remember, Jesus told his disciples that they're going to be ruling and reigning over the 12 tribes of Israel. Like, this was a huge upgrade for them. They were fucking fishermen.
But the thing is this: they wouldn't believe that they would be ruling if they didn't actually see Jesus rise from the dead. If they did see, if they didn't see Jesus rise from the dead, Christianity is a dead religion.
Oh,
they
no.
don't. It's just a guy who lived, made some teachings, did some miracles, told them they were gonna, sit next to him, and then he died. He never rose from the dead. It was after he rose from the dead, and they saw him with their own eyes, according to the documents, of course, which you guys can obviously disagree with, but according to the documents, and from there they went out and started proclaiming, hey, we saw Jesus rise from the dead. We saw him in flesh, in person, and they didn't gain anything from that. All they did was get persecuted and died.
Well, we don't know how they...
And they didn't gain anything from that. All they did was get persecuted and died.
Well, we don't know how they died. We know how the two Jameses died, and we know possibly how Paul died, and we might know how Peter died. The document that gives us the account of Peter's death is like hopelessly full of nonsense. Like there's a dog that gives a speech, and then a baby sucking at his mother's teat that ends up giving a speech. It's just a nonsensical story.
It's so wild.
So we don't really know how most of the disciples died, but I don't know. Let's just assume eventually they got killed, right? We're not sure where this argument helps you, because listen, if you've got a group of people following the disciples, let's say that there's 1,000, maybe 2,000 of them, who knows? And it's already in the zeitgeist that, hey, these 12 guys, minus Judas obviously, these 12 guys that are really important, they're going to be ruling and reigning over all y'all. You can see why they would want to keep the charade going, especially because, remember, their ministry was being supported by outsiders. Now, it is basically just your traditional cult, where outsiders are funding their work, and all they got to do is keep the scam going.
Yeah, but you don't lie. Nobody lies about something that they know is false.
How do you know that they were lying? What if maybe they were truly convinced that it was true, but that doesn't mean that it was?
So you're saying that 12 different people all hallucinated and thought they saw Jesus and didn't
Do you
saw
think
Jesus,
that
didn't
it's
see Jesus.
possible?
I think it's a lot less likely than what
What is
actual.
possible?
I mean, anything's possible. God is real, and the Christian God is real can be possible. So I can say the same thing to you. It's possible that the Christian God is real, right? Or is that not possible in your,
Well, actually,
perspective?
Possible that monkeys could fly out of my ass.
Okay,
yeah,
so then
I
so
think
it's the same exact thing.
I think
So what I'm
possibility
saying
is
is
a.
it's more
I think
likely.
possibility though is like within the bounds of logic, right? So, I think Calvin and I would agree that things that are outside of the laws of logic are probably not likely to be possible, and the Trinitarian nonsense is outside of logic. So it might be true that Yahweh could exist, but there's no way that the Trinity exists. That's preposterous.
Well, I don't think it's illogical because if God is the description that we give him, omniscient, all powerful.
Well, let's not get
Why
bogged.
couldn't-
Let's not get bogged down on that point. I love talking about the Trinity, but I don't want to derail the current conversation. I think
okay.
what
I get you.
Calvin's trying to suggest is, and don't let me put words in your mouth there, Calvin, but he's trying to suggest it is possible that the disciples were deceived in one way or another, and I know of a number of different ways that they could have been deceived on this particular.
Sacrifice myself or sacrifice others in the name of Bigfoot, but it doesn't make it true. There's a number of reasons why. I mean, everything from, maybe they did have some sort of psychological break, and they all had some sort of mass hysterical event where they all maybe were seeing the same thing that wasn't actually there. Mass hysteria is a thing. It's a real thing that happens. I mean, it could have been. Maybe there wasn't even 12 disciples. Maybe there's only a couple guys, and they added in a couple extra disciples because, again, we don't really know how any of them died, right? It could be, it could be that they just were making up a story, or maybe the story got twisted over time. Like, there's so many different possibilities, right? But you're just jumping straight to has to be invisible magic man. That's the truth. I'm just not sure how you're getting it.
Well, what I'm saying is the evidence leads more likely to that than
what
to
is the evidence?
Well, the evidence is number one, historical documents written in the same century.
Which
we have
documents
that says guys saw a thing.
Let me finish my point, and then you guys can pick that apart. But especially with what you're saying, Calvin, is that what I'm saying is backed up by written documents, eyewitness testimony, accounts from that time in the day. You're derailing to a possibility of something that's a lot less likely by historical standards.
No, I think it's more likely that people had a mass hysterical event rather than there was an ancient magic Jewish man who appeared in front of them with magic superpowers. Okay. Likely my scenario.
I see. Well, to finish the point is this too. He didn't just appear to the 12 disciples according to documents. Obviously, I wasn't there. He appeared to, they say, over 500 people, which would explain the massive growth of Christianity and how fast it rapidly grew. And not only how fast did it grow,
neither here nor there.
Well, not only how fast did it grow, but also the fact that it grew without any type of until the Crusades, until any type of crazy like territory taking like it did in Islam. It grew
that's
very organic.
Simply not true either. But
it grew much more.
Get to the documentation. That's a whole nother talking point.
Well, the documentation, I mean, even in the Dead Sea Scrolls, you can see obviously a lot of Old Testament documents that were identical, written of the entire Old Testament. Less likely.
No, just I think an ancient bearded magic man in the sky is a lot less likely than guys just having a mental episode.
The reason why I don't think it's less likely, and I can understand from your point of view, and like I really do understand, like you're looking at things of, okay, this is very like mystical stuff. We don't see that nowadays. But the thing is, with the creation of the universe, anything is possible when you really think about it that way.
No, not everything is possible.
I'm saying you guys believe, being that you guys are more on the atheist side, I know you guys are agnostic, but
no, we are atheists. We are agnostic.
Okay, so with atheists, so you guys, the reason why the Christian God is more likely just in general is just because of the basic core facts that there is creation. So because there is creation, so what do you believe? So you believe that we're just like nano meat robots talking to each other, and this was just all
Yeah, kind of.
naturally
I'm an
caused.
existential nihilist, so yeah, all of this is pointless.
So then how can you believe anything you say is true?
Who said I did?
Exactly. So your whole
I'm
argument's
just saying
done
my
because
opinion because it's all subjective. Remember?
exactly. So every truth claim you make, it has no grounding. So my point is this.
He
there-
went right to precept. I have no idea
Yeah,
how
so-
we went from
so
the
because of every
resurrection to
truth claim-
hold on. Joel,
Sorry.
you went from the resurrection to precept bullshit. You got to pick one.
I know,
you can't
well,
just keep floundering from
no,
one
I
bad
know.
argument to another.
I know. Well,
Yeah.
no, but I guess my point was this. No, and the reason I went there, Justin, I don't want to like steer off. I get you. But no, the reason I went there was because we're debating two different reasons why we believe Christianity grew. He's saying it's through mass hysteria, hallucination.
Well,
I'm
no, I
saying
didn't say that's how it was. I'm just saying that is am I wrong in saying that that's not a possibility?
100%. Just like how you
Do you
said,
think
might
that
be
that is
single out of
more
your butt.
plausible? A naturalistic explanation is more plausible than an ancient Jewish magic man doing it.
No, because I think of the
Why?
reasons I meant. I think because of the reasons I mentioned of not just 12 people, 12
Who
disciples.
cares? I don't care. It could be
but
10
over-
million people. 10 million people could also be wrong.
I think that's way less likely than an actual miracle event happening.
No, it's so again, you still think that unnatural stuff is more likely than natural stuff.
Well,
But
I think
I don't understand how you're getting there. You're just saying because why? Because the
It's
Bible says so, because there's evidence for it, because I don't care that a guy says a thing. I don't care. I need something, there's lots of people saying lots of crazy stuff about gods and what they do and what they don't do.
yeah, well, it just goes back to what I was saying before, where because of your existing worldview prior to this, you can't really believe in anything that you say. And so because you agree with that,
I didn't know I ever said my worldview. I don't know when that ever came up.
well, no, you told me that
He's
that
gonna say
don't-
you can't ground knowledge. You can't
you
ground
can't
truth.
ground knowledge, babe.
Here comes the
But
precept.
you
Well, how did we
agreed to
get?
that.
How the fuck did we get here again?
He won't just stick with the Jesus. What? How can we come to the common understanding here? How
Okay,
can
but
we
we
prove
already
that
have our
Jesus
points.
died and then resurrected? How do we?
Okay, so the point is, I guess, that you believe that you think there's more likely there was a mass hysteria.
No. Listen. I don't.
Thunder lights the road, blacktop rolling under God. Now we're dancing close, 1 to 1, as our bodies love. 1 to 1, we sway on our way home. 1 to 1, we sway, and all the pain flows. doubts and close. One to one as our bodies left. One to one we sway on our way out. One to one we sway and all the pain flows.
Autopilot engaged. Disengaging. Cannon. Mines.
close, one to one, as our bodies lap. One to one, we sway on our way home. One to one, we sway, and all the pain flows. dancing close. One